the main focus is going to be on the amount of separation that they create in that short amount of window, but how that separation allows them to increase their whip, which is, the arm, and increase that hand speed because of how they can delay the trunk rotation, right? So trunk rotation, in my opinion, to be honest, is not something that you can really think about delaying. I think it's just a byproduct of having super efficient segmentation of the shoulders and hips. Does that make sense? So this is the main focus today. Segmentation, shoulders and hips, okay? So both of these guys, you're going to see as they separate their hands, they have an ability to stabilize, boom, stabilize. So now that essentially that drive leg is producing force, stabilizing that force, but now watch how quickly it can go from stabilization to now rear hip going into internal rotation. Now, this movement is actually going to happen simultaneous with the throwing arm retracting, and that elbow is going to pull back. I kind of look at it like you're pulling a pinball machine, right? So this is the move here. Let's sync them up. Right? So the angles are a little bit different, but you can see that arm pulls back. So that almost counter rotates the trunk a little bit. Almost, I kind of look at it more so as the trunk just remaining neutral, but that move is occurring as this rear hip is internally rotating. You can't see it so much in, I guess you can there. It was just a little bit delayed. See that move right there? So watch. Rear hip starts to rotate while the arm pulls back and kind of counter rotates the trunk. Right? So this is that segmentation. So now you create stretch, okay? You create stretch in your body. Same with him, right? Internal rotation, boom, pulls back. Right there. So once this stretch is created, now we're just going to be looking at this lead foot because this is our anchor, okay? So now once we anchor into the ground, we pull the rubber band and we release the tension. Now, what this allows them to do is to increase their power output in a short window, right? So how to do that, you create as much stretch as you can, and then you pull that stretch. And then what happens is, just like a pitcher, this hip rotation is going to get completed. That's going to pull the trunk through. It's going to initiate trunk rotation. And then the trunk rotation is actually going to initiate the throwing arm into slot. Now, what that allows the throwing arm to do is to create a more of a capacity for layback external rotation of the shoulder, right? So you see it here. So the hip rotation is going to get completed. The trunk still is remaining neutral. Now the trunk starts to go. Arm gets pulled through, right? So the arm is being pulled through by the trunk rotation. That's increasing the acceleration of that trunk, of the higher, or of the total body, right? So we think about like that rotational energy. We store up all that rotational energy, we create that stretch, and then we release it. We have a higher capacity of rotational energy to release. Boom, 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 and we release it, and then it goes. But again, timing in which that front foot anchors down. Front foot anchors down, now we can release it. Boom, hip rotation gets completed. Now it brings the trunk about. Now look at these guys and their ability to increase their layback and external rotation because they were on time and their segmentation was flawless. So then that acceleration of trunk rotation after the separation is now bringing into a deeper capacity of layback, and now your arm is acting as a whip, and then it's wham into slot with so much more rotational energy behind it, right? Rather than the opposite where you don't create this segmentation right there, right? Where you don't create this, and then your hip and your shoulder just move together, so you don't create any of that stretch, right? You don't create much rotational energy. So then they just move, they just go, and then your arm just has to then generate more. So then you don't get into a deeper range of that layback external rotation of the shoulder, right? So now you're pushing the ball because you don't have that trunk rotation to pull the arm through because you didn't segment. See it a lot though. And the thing is it's just a segmentation. So you got to train your body to be able to do that move. In my opinion, I think starting with the throwing mechanics of a infielder or an outfielder, focusing on external task is huge. Obviously, there's a ton of drill progressions that you can do. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'd encourage you to check out my throwing mechanics ebook. There's a link in the description. I'll put it to optimize your throwing mechanics. But it's basically a whole entire ebook. It's $25 on how to really go about this type of dynamic here with the segmentation, some drill progressions to optimize your arm path, and all of that good stuff. So be sure to check that out. And if you're a pitcher watching this, do more athletic tasks like this. It's fantastic. Great stuff. All right, guys. As always, I'm your host. And I'd encourage you to hit the subscribe button, hit the frickin' other button, I don't know, and have a great rest of your day. God bless. Love you. Bye.